All right, guys, it's time for an update video. I've not posted in a while. Quite a bit of stuff going on. To start off with, around Christmas time, I don't think I've posted a video since right before Christmas. Anyway, Christmas time, you know, it's usually busy and stuff like that, so I didn't really do much. After Christmas, though, when my computer chair had broken, I posted a video of that, not me actually falling out of the chair. I wish I had that video on video because I'd already have 1 million views on there by now probably. I didn't really think it did much to me, but it did. It messed up my back pretty bad. It must have hurt something pretty bad. Anyway, so I can come out and work a little bit, but it's getting to the point where 2 or 3 hours in, my lower back starts getting hot, like heat in it, so I just quit. Because if I keep going, it's just going to make it worse. But I'm going to go ahead and catch you guys up to speed on a lot of stuff going on. Now, the hardtop, there's been a few days I haven't been able to push the car out to work on the 4-door. So I'm trying to do stuff on the car that's, you know, not involve welding and grinding and stuff like that to throw sparks on the car and that type of stuff. So this is going to be a long video, but hang on because I'm going to cover a lot of stuff and I'm going to throw in a few tips along the way. So if you fast forward or skip through, you might miss something. Oh, I'm going to start off with the hardtop, actually. I have been following my order status at Summit on that Roller Howard's Cam kit that I bought in November. The estimated ship date is 3rd month of 2022. I noticed Saturday or Friday they had changed that to 1 of 22, so I was all excited. I went ahead and emailed Howard's Cams and asked them if that, I told them everything, you know, number, my customer number, all that stuff. Wanted to know if that was a pretty good projected date. And the guy said, I seriously doubt it. So thanks for the honesty, Howard's Cams. So anyway, it kind of burst my bubble a little bit because I was going to try to make a go at getting the 55 hardtop ready for Daryl Starbird's car show. And the reality is, I probably wouldn't have got it ready, but I'd have worked my butt off to get there, hurt back or not. And it'd have been that much closer if I didn't make it. So anyway, so Cam, no telling how long it's going to be before that gets here. So now I'll get you up to speed on all the little things I've been doing and some stuff like that. I even got some goodies to show you. I'm going to start off here. This is a rear left side door from a 57 4-door sedan. It's a pretty nice door with no rust. It had a lower hinge on it. My friend Scott Smith brought me that. I gave him probably 15 to 20, I would say, ballparking it, doors from 4-doors. Back a few years ago, I gave him all kinds of Tri-5 parts. There was boxes, there was totes, there was tons of stuff, mainly 4-door stuff. I was doing a house cleaning. Didn't think I was going to work on any more 4-doors because I had my hardtop. I gave him a lot of nice stuff. But anyway, he told me if I ever need anything back, just call him and he'd bring it to me. And so far he's done it 3 times, guys. So that's pretty awesome. So anyway, I got the lower hinge taken off the door. I blasted it with my little portable blaster outside. I epoxy primed it outside. And then I bolted it on the rear door over there because if you caught the video, I was having issues with that door alignment. Something was messed up and the door would open almost straight out. I put the hinge on, just kind of ballparked it, and I got out and I pushed it too, and it was almost exactly where it needed to be on the first hit. So the hinge definitely fixed my issue. So thanks, Scott, for bringing me that hinge, man. Much appreciated. Let's see. So the door, I got it to where it lines up at the body line here, and it lines up on this one, and this part lines up. If those 3 parts line up on your 4-door, that door is where it's going to be. Because a lot of times the door will be so close it'll chip paint on these rear doors. So I went ahead and cut it and basically welded it up, and I haven't went back and ground it and filed it yet. I need to do that. While I was removing paint on the edges, I noticed there was a lot of body filler in this door down here. Not only did they fill the rust, there was filler all up in here. So when I got it all sanded out of there, it was caved in, man. So I'm assuming that somebody may have been backing up and their kid opened the back door before they got parked and it hit something. I don't know. It wasn't a healthy impact because the door's not all buckled inside or anything. It was just mild, but it was enough to kind of mess the hinge up. But anyway, so I got it stud gunned out and I've still got to patch this, and I'm going to wait to finish out my stud gunning and hammer and dolly work until that's patched, because I can go in here and work all this, and then when I work that, it's just going to sink a little bit anyway. So more work to do, but that door is almost done, and this is the last door to fit to the car. So I am glad of that. So my friend Jason Barrett brought me the rebuild kit for the Turbo 350C. Mainly, you know, if you guys have been watching my video series on this car, you're up to speed. But in case you're not, I have a Turbo 350C short tail transmission to put in this 4-door. He has offered to put a rebuild kit in it for free if I bought the kit. So I gave him $100 to buy the kit with, and he got me a kit, which has a receipt in there. It's like $84. It does not have the band, so I need to buy a band, which is around $20-30, which is fine. I'll get a band for it, because I don't want to rebuild the transmission without a new band anyway, and I don't think he does either. But he also brought me a gift, and this is pretty cool. This was free. Came with the converter, the transmission, the dipstick and tube, the kickdown cable. Even has a fairly new vacuum modulator on it. But anyway, this is what looks like a 350 turbo, which would be a C model because it has the electronic plug-in, which doesn't mean anything. You don't have to have that plugged in. I never plug mine in when I put them in something. It's just an extra little lock-up converter thing. So this is actually a 250C transmission, which I knew they made. I just wasn't sure how you could tell the difference, and he showed me, and I never knew this. This band adjustment right here, that's how you tell a 250 from a 350. But it's the same exact case. I mean, otherwise, it looks like the same exact trans. Same trans panel, bolt on there, everything, as a 350. That's pretty awesome. Anyway, this is a BOP pattern. What I mean by that is it's Buick Olds Pontiac, in case some guys don't know. This will not work behind a small block Chevrolet. So, I do have, and in case somebody else doesn't know, they had Unibel transmissions as well, is what they're called. This is what this is. This is the 350C I'm putting in the 4-door. This is a Unibel. It has all the other patterns in it. I've used several of these through the years too. But anyway, let's see. So he brought me that. It was free. I had told him a few months ago that if I ever find something to put my Buick Turbo V6 in, I'm going to need a transmission. So some guy brought him a G-body. I'm not sure what it was. I didn't ask. He just said G-body. And it had a blown-up 3.8 carbureted V6 non-turbo, and it had that transmission. They pulled the motor and trans out. They put in a small block and an overdrive. He gave Jason the motor and trans, and Jason forwarded the tranny to me. So that's pretty cool. So now I've got a transmission for my Turbo V6, and I am happy about that. Not sure what I'm ever going to put that motor in, but it's down here for whenever I do. Now I have 3 of these here. This is a 1979 model Turbo Buick V6. This is a non-intercooled Turbo V6, and they're not really known to have a lot of power, but there is mods you can do to them, and you know, get them up into the 14s and 15s and stuff if you wanted to, which I pretty much got everything here now. But anyway, I have 3 of those engines here, but I plan on putting one of those in something in the future. I just like the look of them. It's not, you know, they're not super reliable, they're not super awesome powerhouses. It's just, I like the look of that carbureted V6 engine, and I like carburetors. So okay, now since I'm up here, start on this. So I finally got the last of my eBay stuff in, and I got to tell you, I was getting irritated over this, but it's my own stupidity, really. So this is the Delco sticker that I'm going to be putting on this battery. It did come with another decal with it as a set. This is the punch card. Now these are cut already. This is a round sticker. It just has a big outline on it. This one's also been cut, so it has rounded corners. But anyway, I ordered that on the 14th, and I sent him a message Friday, I think it was, or Saturday, I don't remember. Anyway, I said, I still haven't received this yet. And he replied back, and he said, international mailing usually takes 2 weeks. And I was like, I didn't order that overseas. And I got to looking, and it's from Belgium. So that's my own fault, because I always click US only on the left, just so I don't get into that shipping getting stuck somewhere. You know what I mean? Anyway, finally I got them, and I'm kind of impressed with the quality. Now I've had 2 people email me, and one person I think messaged on there on the detail video. They wanted a link to get this sticker. It's at eBay. If you just click in the search, Delco battery sticker. I think I put Delco vintage battery sticker or something, and it comes right up. You can't miss it. I won't be putting links in my descriptions for people to find it easier, for the simple fact that they're not sponsors. I had to pay for that stuff, and I know that doesn't sound nice of me, but the other side of it is, you know, 6 months or a year, whatever down the road, if they, you know, that link's going to go dead, and then when somebody clicks on it, it's going to be a dead link. So just look the stuff up. I mean, I usually tell where I got it, and you just type in the search and you'll find it. Now, here's something really cool. But I got some Christmas money. My wife's side of the family always gives the kids quite a bit of money for Christmas, which is really awesome. I got some from my parents too, and a little bit from the wife, and I just turn around and spend every bit of it on this four-door. I went ahead and bought these. This was my very first thing I purchased. I got these off eBay as well. This is a brand new set of 150 to 210 dog dish caps for 55, 56. I do want to say, I'm not 100%, but I think instead of white paint for 55, I think this was black on 56. That could have been the Bel Air caps. I don't know. I always mod these cars. I don't ever really do originals, so all them original, you know, stuff I'm not up on. But anyway, I'm impressed with the quality. This is the second set of these I've had before, but anyway, these are on eBay. If you type in 1955 Chevy, don't put Bel Air, put hubcaps in there, I think is what I put, and you'll find it. Over on the left, I did have to change it from used to new because there was 10,000 used ones on there, and then it narrowed it down and it was on page 1. But it said, buy it now, $169 with free shipping. And I was in. I was like, heck yeah. Funny thing is, I put these in my eBay watch list like 6 months ago. And when I pulled it up on there the other day to buy them, it still said last one. It said it when I found it, it said last one. So I went ahead and bought them thinking I got his last box, and I just went in there and checked, and the same guy has the same ones on there, same price and everything, and it still says last one. So it's a good marketing ploy in case anybody's never worked in retail. It's called the fear of loss, because you would see that and it says last one. You're probably going to hit buy it now because you don't want to miss the opportunity of it. And he was the only one on there I seen, especially at that price. So if you're wanting a set of hubcaps, you better go ahead and snag them. Anyway, I got all 4 and I'm happy with it. Anyway, the other thing I bought with the Christmas money is a brand new front sway bar for CPP. I also got this off eBay. I got, this is just the small one. It may be the only one CPP offers. I doubt it is, but I have installed 2 of these on customer cars and 2 in the past on my own car. So this is actually the 5th one of the same exact one. It's not a super big, thick, you know, sway bar that you would see for pro touring. This is just a great little upgrade. If you guys have never put a sway bar in your Tri-5, it was an immediate difference that I noticed. I drove a 56 Chevy 4-door Bel Air every day. That was my work car. And I would get on the turnpike every day, and it has a big, long curve. And I'm that guy, when I go through the turnpike gate, I'm on it. To get out there with traffic instead of slowing everybody down, I like to get up to speed pretty quick. So going around that long on-ramp, that car had so much body roll to it, that completely stopped it in its tracks immediately. The car felt more stable at high speed. It was awesome. So I get one of those every time I get a chance. I have front and rears for the 55, but the hardtop anyway. But my initial idea, now I want to say this is like $115 or something, and I think it was with free shipping. So it's kind of a no-brainer to go ahead and get that. Now, my biggest thing that I worried about, you guys have been following along, know I'm building this 4-door for my wife. If your car, these old cars, if you're driving down the highway at 65 miles an hour and somebody pulls out in front of you and you got to slam on the brakes, the wheels with a disc brake kit, it's going to lock up the brakes. And then at that point, the car's going to go into a skid. If it starts to turn, you have a possibility without a sway bar for that car to roll. So the sway bar will help in that event. It still could happen. I'm not saying it's going to prevent it. It's just better for it. But anyway, I was pretty much about out of Christmas money at that point, but I had to go ahead and put in the extra money to get this door sill plate set. I had to do it, man. You know, four-door door seal plate sets are over $100 on eBay. I had a few in the watch list. I wasn't going to buy them right now. I just had a few in there. I've got a watch list that's really long. I'm watching all kinds of stuff, but you know, when I get money, I'll go in there and get in my watch list, and if it's still up there, I'll snag it. I don't have to go through hours of pages and looking again. I have that stuff picked out. Even in Dan Chuck catalog, these were, I believe, over $100. I looked at H&H Classics website, and I've got to give another shout out to H&H. That was brand new for, it was either $66 or $68 for all four for a four-door. I'm impressed. So it was half price of what you'd normally pay, so I went ahead and bought it. I think I had like 27 bucks left of my Christmas money, so I did have to put in, you know, $40 or $50 with it. But I just had to do it. I got a brand new carpet set for the car. Now I got new door sill plates. I have original set here. They're really, really bad, really rough shape. They're even kind of rotted away in the edges. I was going to Raptor line them and use them because most new model cars, they're just like a grained plastic anyway. And I was going to use that to get us by for now. But when I got them out to mess with them the other day, they were just rough, man. They're really, really bad. And one of them's cracked, so I just decided to go ahead and get them. What else? Man, I got a lot going on here, let me tell you. So I'll start here. Actually, I'm going to go back to this transmission. I'm going to give you guys a tip here. So, vacuum modulator on a turbo 350 transmission. When the diaphragm goes out of these, it will make your car smoke like a freight train. So if you had an old car or truck with a turbo 350 in it and it was running fine when you parked it years ago, and you've recently got it running and it fogs for mosquitoes in your yard, and you're thinking the engine's ruined, that is your culprit right there, because when the diaphragm goes out of those, it sucks transmission fluid right through it and goes right to your direct manifold vacuum, right into your engine, and it burns it. Transmission fluid smokes like crazy when you burn it in an engine. So anyway, that is your problem, a $15 vacuum modulator. Now, I've seen a lot of the transmissions I've drug in, they've had it, but I have had one or two that weren't. You can get these that are adjustable, and I bought one brand new for the four-door already. It's still in the box that is adjustable, and I think it was like $13. But when you pull the vacuum cap off the end of it, there's a little slot, flat blade screwdriver spot in there, and you can turn that a little bit. You know, if your transmission's shifting too early, you can turn it and it will make it shift a little later, or vice versa. If it's shifting too late, you can tone it down a little bit. So you can pretty much fine tune that with a little pocket flat blade jeweler screwdriver. But anyway, another little tip of the day there. So easy stuff. Now another tip here, along with me catching you up to what's going on here. So I had a couple of reasons to try to get the front seat ready to put in the car. I need to get the foam pieces cut out with the electric knife to go on the seat bottom and the back. And I got to get the seat pretty well mocked up in here because I need to fit my wife in the car, because I'm going to be putting in 3-point retractable seat belts. And everybody knows the 3-point seat belt is usually on your B-pillar, and that's where the little belt slider is. And that's usually where you bolt it in at. Now, if you just went in there without test fitting anybody in the car and bolted it in there, if you get that too high, it'll be across your neck. I learned that from 1978 to 80 A-bodies, which was, I still call them G-bodies, like Malibus, Regals, Cutlasses, you know, Cutlass Salon, stuff like that. They were too high on those 78 to 80 cars, and they always rubbed my neck. 81 to 88 G-bodies, they lowered it down to alleviate that. But anyway, whoever's going to be driving that car, you need to get them set up in the car where the seat's going to be, and then buckle it, put it across them, and then raise that or lower it and try to get that down below their neck a little bit. So I need to fit her to the car. So that's one of the main reasons I brought the seat out here. I had to do a lot of work to the seat, and I did a video and I just set it on the tripod and let it go, and that was me stretching these springs out, and I had 3 springs that were broken and I welded them up. I also removed, I couldn't tell you how many hog rings off of this thing, and then I hog ringed in 3 long wave wires across the top here. That is actually in the shop manual. It is a service bulletin near the back. GM started doing that, so apparently they were having saggy spring problems. But anyway, I now have everything all stretched back out, and it's straight all the way across, which is what you want. And I have set down and on it and back on it, I don't know, 7 or 8 times, and it just goes right back to where it was. So I think it'll be okay for a little while. Anyway, so I've got all that done. Now here's the tip I want to give you. So I'm going to be blasting all the seat springs for this car outside sometime. Now when you go in and try to blast seat frames with a portable little roll-around blaster, it wastes a lot of media because you're trying to get all four sides, all these little bitty wires. So what I like to do is just kind of barely hit them. Now this right here, you know, this is always the rustiest part of your seat frame, the main frame here. So I will blast on this pretty good to get it a lot cleaner. And then at that point, I will put this on because I didn't blast them completely clean. Anyway, that's this rust encapsulator. That's what this is for. Now, most guys know the difference between a rust encapsulator or a rust converter, but some do not. So I'm going to give you a tip on that. Again, not a sponsor, but I'm going to tell you why that I like to use this stuff. So you do not brush this stuff on rust and then grind it off in a month or something to see if the rust is gone. It doesn't do that. The rust stays there. It just doesn't grow anymore. It stops it in its tracks. That is called an encapsulator. A rust converter is something that you put on there and it eats the rust and turns to a coating. So anyway, the Pour 15 for me, the gloss black, when that stuff is put on, whether you brush it or spray it, it has flow out characteristics like nobody's business. When I did the seat springs on my two-door hardtop, those seat springs, if you look at them even up close, they look like they were taken to a powder coater and done. They are that slick. But here is the other tip I wanted to give you. So normally, most applications guys just brush it on with a house paintbrush. And when you do that, when you go across some springs like that or like this, it wrings the brush out and the paint just runs off of it. So you're going to waste it all. You can pour that into a spray gun if it has a big enough needle and you can spray it on there. I do not know if you can reduce this. I've never read it or looked at it. I never reduce it. It is pretty thick stuff, but it'll make that seat springs look like $1 million at that point. Now, I have a spray gun here that I bought. It's just a cheapy spray gun. I needed a gun to spray Z-Chrome polyester. That's my favorite polyester sprayable primer. That stuff is heavy bodied, really thick stuff. I bought this gun at Northern Tool in Tulsa. I'm sure you can find it online, probably off their website if they still carry it. The brand is Vapor. Now I don't know if it's ER or OR, but that's the brand, but it has a 2.3 needle in it. So you can pour that POR 15 directly in that gun and shoot it, and it will look like $1 million when you're done. I paid, I think, $69.99 for that gun back when I bought it. It's been several years back. But anyway, if you want to get a gun with a big needle, that's a good one. I don't ever have expensive paint guns. I do have a lot of paint guns here, but none of them are super expensive high-end guns. You can paint a car with a cheap gun. So I always sand and buff my projects anyway. Anyway, now I'm going to go ahead and catch up on finishing the battery here because all I did was talk about the sticker. So I have been waiting on these clamps to come in since the 15th of December, and they finally came in. These are not the ones I ordered. I ordered the Platinum series, which are silver and have a clear plastic cover on them. And in his picture, he had the Platinum series, and that was even in his details about them, and showed a picture even with the plastic cover on it. The plastic cover is notched out at the back for the wires to go in. I just wanted the plastic cover because this is awful close to metal here, in case this thing turns. But anyway, also closing the hood, in case the hood might hit it or something. I don't think it will, I'm just saying. It's just a safety thing for me. So anyway, I messaged him back. I was not very happy about it, but I was polite in the message, and he said, sorry for the inconvenience. If he wanted me to ship the clear covers out, he would. And I was like, yes, please. So anyway, I've got the wires kind of mocked up on here where they're going. Now, in case you didn't catch that detail video, I'm wanting to get the holes drilled in the firewall to run these 8-gauge cables through, so I'm not drilling body filler, primer, or paint afterwards that will end up chipping it out or flaking it or, delaminating it from the drill bit heat from my dull drill bits. So I wanted to get this part of the mock-up done. But that is pretty much how they're going to set, going angled like that. I've got the inline fuse for the amplifier is going to go here. And I'm just using a little short piece of wire in there. That way, if there's any short of that going through the firewall into the carpet or anything, it'll blow the fuse. So if I had, that fuse down there by the amplifier, if it shorted out up in here in the firewall, it would just spark like crazy. So Anyway, I've got a template made here out of paper, and it will fit pretty much right in there like that. I'm going to transfer this to sheet metal. I've got a piece of sheet metal here. It's the same exact gauge as the top here. So when I cut it out and get it all fit in there, I'm going to butt weld it and then grind it so it'll look like it's made into it. But it has the same side angle as the angle that this is going to be sitting. And I'm going to be drilling 2 holes in it, and this is the hardware I'm going to use. These are stainless 1024, just Phillips head. I'm going to cut the heads off of them, and I'm going to put them down in there and weld them from the bottom and then grind them flat. So it'll have a stud coming up to go through this. And then I'm going to use 1024 stainless acorn nuts that I'll polish on the polishing wheel to hold this down. So anyway, another little detailed thing there. I've got my grommets out here for the 8-gauge cables, and I've kind of figured out where I'm going to put them. I just need to go ahead and drill the holes. What else? What else am I missing? I might have everything covered. I hope I do, because I know this video is getting long. I did go down to Lowe's the other day, and I bought a little piece of plywood. I think it's 1/4 inch to build the insert for the floor. I talked about that in the detail video. I've got the template cut out here. This will go under the seat there for the amplifier. Anyway, I'm going to cut out that 1/4 inch plywood in the same shape as that, and that's where that plywood's going to go. And then I will put the carpet. I have a 1-piece molded carpet set to go in here, so you won't know the little piece of plywood's in there, and I'll be able to screw the amp to the plywood instead of drilling holes all the way through the floor and then the amp go out, and then a replacement amp won't have the same pattern, and I'd end up with 8 holes in the floor. So that's why I'm doing plywood instead. But what else? That may be it. So the carpet that I bought for this car, I bought it like first of the summer. I don't even remember, midsummer. I bought an ACC brand molded 1-piece carpet kit, but I did get loop, and I got it in black. I like black carpet because it hides better. I never have been a fan of loop carpet because it gets stuff stuck in it so hard. It's kind of harder to vacuum out. But this car, going mostly original, I wanted the loop in it. So that's why I got the loop. And the loop was cheaper, so it worked out pretty good. I usually like cut pile like I have in the hardtop, and I've put cut pile in most of my Tri-5s just because it vacuums up easier and it's just more modern. It looks nicer. But for this car, I'm going with that. The reason I went with black carpet, main reason is, stains and dirt and that type of stuff. But I've got some vintage 1-piece rubber floor mats that go all the way across the tranny tunnel and over. And I've got them for the front and the back. And they're from like Western Auto or, something like that. They're really, really old, but they're still nice and rubbery, pliable, and they're still in fantastic shape. So I used to have them in a Tri-5 I had. I actually got them out of a Tri-5 out of a barn. They were still in that car. But anyway, those will be going in here. So that's another little vintage kind of add-on that will look good with the car for the build, the way the build's going. But I think I just about covered everything, guys. I think that's pretty much where I'm at. No, it's not. You ain't seen the best part yet. Get this door repaired. So, my wife's Fiat, whatever you want to call it. So, she had a flat tire yesterday, and at lunchtime, yeah, it's already pretty much flat again. I assumed there was going to be a screw or a nail in it, so while she was in there eating lunch, I pulled the wheel off, and I was rolling it on the ground looking for a screw or a nail or something in it, and I didn't find anything. When I turned around backwards, it had a split like 3 inches long in the sidewall. It was just like the rubber part, but anyway, there's dry rot, and there's another little split in the back of the sidewall as well. The rears are getting pretty thin, and they're cupped anyway, so these tires are old. They're several years old. They may be 4 or 5 years old. I'm not even sure. We can't remember when we bought them. But I went ahead and ordered a brand new set for the car because, she needs to be safe anyway. So I am waiting on those tires to come in to do that. So in the meantime, I went down to borrow my dad's truck. This is a 1982 Chevrolet half-ton square body. He bought this truck brand new. I was with him when he bought it. And I took my driver's test in this truck in like 1989, I think. Anyway, so this truck, my mom and dad restored this back in, I want to say it was early 2000, 99, 2000, 2001, something there, I don't know. But anyway, so This truck has a few little issues. He never really drives anymore. It really just sets. I had to put air in the tires. They were all really, really low. But anyway, the transmission leaks pretty bad. When I went to back out of his driveway yesterday, it was kind of sliding pretty bad. So I ended up having to put 2.5 quarts in it to get it full. While I was messing with the transmission fluid, you know, checking it and then putting more in it, it died. It just shut off. It started right back up and stayed running, but that has happened to me in the past, and it ended up being the ignition module in the HEI. So I'm going to go ahead and change that out today. I'm kind of waiting on it to warm up. It's cold, man. We've had a pretty bad string of cold weather, but this is a Goodwrench 350, and I put this in there. I think that's the third engine I've put in this truck. It has been driven, but it looks really good when it's clean. It's just dirty. It just sits under the carport, you know, and I need to clean it up, but it's just too cold to be washing anything right now. But anyway, this was going to be my wheels to get by until those tires come in, because I ordered them online, so I'm not sure when they're going to be here. But anyway, so thought you guys might want to see that. But anyway, that's my update video. Back in here in the warmth. Sorry for the 30-minute long video, guys, but when you go to give an update with all the details, it's always a long one. So I do apologize, but I do appreciate you watching. And that's pretty much it. So I'll try to update y'all as I can. Thanks for watching.